Hello and welcome to another video from Combat Fusion on Kenpo self-defense techniques. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the technique Swinging Pendulum. Now Swinging Pendulum's attack is a step through roundhouse kick. Now I know there's plenty of different types of roundhouse kicks, as there is with all kicks, and some of you may have opinions on what is the prescribed kick in certain attacks. But here, remember, we're talking about the base training model, and this is where we keep it to the basic movement, so it's just a simple step through roundhouse kick, that is it. In this video, some of the discussion points we'll be getting into are things such as walking the circle, or jamming an attack, and the universal block, and also how Swinging Pendulum gets its name. Now, before we proceed into the video, I'd like to remind everybody, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like and a share. This really does help us out a lot. So we're going to look at the technique from our usual perspective of 3 positions without a partner, and then we'll get into the breakdown and follow on to the variations. So now, let's get into Swinging Pendulum.
The attack in this technique is a stepping through roundhouse kick, executed to above the waistline but primarily towards the head. The principle of avoiding this attack is through the utilization of that very same circular path of attack. This principle is called walking the circle. Our opponent's intention is to cause maximum blunt force trauma on impact. This impact is at the vertex point of the kick's path of travel. This gives us 2 basic choices of defense. 1. Jam the incoming attack on its acceleration side of the path of action before it builds maximum energy. Or 2. After the vertex has been reached, we move with the kick onto the deceleration side of its path of action where it begins to lose energy. The defense for this technique utilizes option 2, with a combination of retreating and attacking foot maneuvers combined with circular handwork to catch our opponent at the most vulnerable time in the most vulnerable position. As the attack is on its way, we must move with it, thereby reducing the severity of any possible impact. This is further mitigated by the position of our guarding arms. This guard structure is often called a universal block, meaning it covers all angles of attack. The universal block position itself is nothing more than a relaxed and well-structured standard guard position. I should also point out here that owing to this guard position being given the specific title of universal block, it has caused some students to alter their posture detrimentally by attempting to make their elbows meet. This is in the belief that it will add some form of extra structural integrity to the universal block, when in reality this belief simply causes unnecessary tension, which in turn corrupts their posture. From standing in a bladed neutral stance, move your rear foot up the circle around 5 minutes on the clock into a neutral bow whilst maintaining the relaxed and well-structured guard. Then immediately launch forward by the use of a push drag towards your opponent's centre line. Simultaneously with the push drag, have your guard arms reverse their position to deliver a leading hammer fist to your opponent's groin, impacting as you settle from your push drag into another neutral bow. Your rear hand is up as a positional check. The reversing of the guard gives this technique its name. The movement of the lead arm swinging down to hit the groin in the manner of a pendulum, hence the name Swinging Pendulum. The hammer fist should also be timed to hit your opponent's groin whilst he is still in the process of kicking. As your opponent reacts to the impact of the hammer fist, or simply by reacting to the threat of impact, move away from his reaction by stepping up the circle another 5 minutes, again with your rear foot. As you once again settle into another neutral bow, deliver a lead arm upward obscure elbow to your opponent's chin. We will now proceed on to the extension to swinging pendulum. If you do not require this information at your stage in training, you may wish to bypass the next section of this video. Now slide your lead leg back into a reverse bow, sweeping your opponent's leg and thereby dropping his height. Simultaneously with this sweep and height drop, deliver an upward snapping forearm strike to your opponent's chin. Immediately follow on by retracting the foot of your sweeping leg to plant beside your other foot, executing a rear heel scoop kick to your opponent's groin in the process. On the planting of your foot, slide your other leg back to another reverse bow and in a similar manner sweep your opponent's other leg. This should spread his stance further and keep control of his height. Instantly pivot towards your opponent into a neutral bow as you deliver a lead arm hand sword to his sternum or throat. Continue the rotation towards your opponent, ending in a forward bow as you deliver a finger thrust with the rear hand to his eyes, which then converts to a heel palm thrust to his jaw. Have your lead arm acting as a positional check. From the heel palm, snake your hand around the rear of your opponent's neck and immediately anchor your elbow down, pulling your opponent forward and onto a roundhouse knee from your rear leg impacting on his sternum. Replant the foot of your knee kick to its point of origin, landing in a neutral bow as you deliver a lead arm upward snapping forearm strike to your opponent's chin while simultaneously executing an outward claw across his face. Convert this outward claw into an inward heel palm claw to the opposite side of your opponent's face, which in turn continues to transform into a two-fingered hook to his eyes, as you settle into the first part of your cover out and delivering an outward downward hand sword to your opponent's neck. From here, complete your cover out.
So now we're going to take a look at some variations. The following variations were performed off the cuff. This is in the sense that there was no real set movement other than the point of origin being a swinging pendulum. These variations are taking advantage of position recognition. This is when the point of your technique matches the point of a different technique. Here we use our experience, not so much our knowledge, to, if necessary, change our tack via that point of reference. Our past experiences allow us to feel an answer and work instinctively rather than try to remember a set of answers for that situation. This means the answer will not look perfect, but that's okay, because self-protection isn't about how it looks, it's about survival. The variations use a point of reference during the base technique and then progress further each time by an altered attack and counter. We have 6 variations in total, starting with the simple idea which develops into more sophisticated ones. Our first variation is simply utilising the relaxed guard position to flow into 5 swords, as our opponent's leading hand has become a potential threat. This is very reminiscent of the end of long form 4. The second variation progresses on to after the roundhouse kick has been executed. Our opponent reaches forward to grab our leading hand with his rear hand. This gives the position recognition answer of gripping talon. In variation number 3, our opponent sees our intention of hitting him in the groin and instinctively uses both hands to block our lead hammer fist. Here, we recognise the position and flow into the technique unfurling crane. On to variation number 4, and we see our opponent once again block the hammer fist to his groin, then counter with a grab in an attempt to control our lead hand. This gives the position recognition to allow us to execute the technique glancing spear. In variation number 5, we find our guard moving faster and independently to our structure. This in itself exposes our centre line to a potential counter-attack. We found this position was recognised as a familiar position of defensive cross. Our 6th and final variation. Here our opponent again blocks our lead hammer fist to his groin, but he notes that we have been sloppy with our guard. Namely, our lead hand has dropped and is now exposing our centre line. He follows up by attempting a lead hand push or punch. We then move into the technique protecting fans. Well, thank you very much for joining us once again here at Combat Fusion Martial Arts. I hope you find the information in this video is useful. Don't forget, if you have any comments or any feedback, please put that in the comments section of the video. We do try to answer everything. Also, again, don't forget to like, share and subscribe this video. It really does help us out and I appreciate you doing it. So this is Andy Seetham of Combat Fusion Martial Arts saying goodbye.